This is Betty's house. I visited here, I guess, about 6 or 8 months ago. I hadn't met Betty before, and I was very surprised by the house. I had never seen anything really quite like it in terms of its ceiling height, as you'll see when we go inside. And I had never seen anything as well laid out in an unconventional way. The rooms were very large. It's a two-story home with, I think, that the first-story ceilings. Well, there's Betty in the background. She's walking by. She's about 5'4", so you can see how high the ceilings are. I guess it's 20 feet. So there's art hanging. There's art way high up. There's art low and high, as they say. And this is the living room as you come in. We're not going to go in there right away. We're going to take a little trip upstairs, which I really liked because I stayed up here. I had one room to work in, another room to sleep in while I was making this. And now you see why I liked it up on the second floor, because it's one big balcony and you can look down at whatever is happening on the ground floor in the kitchen or the living room. And you have these wonderful companions. They're life-size Chinese soldiers and servants, and they're all along the edge of the balcony looking down at the inhabitants. It's a wonderful touch. Just decorating this house took a kind of weird genius because it's so big and it's so wide, and it was not built by Betty, that she bought the house, so it's a kind of, I don't know, what is it? It's a kind of unconventional design. There's lots of curves and lots of glass in the house, very high ceilings. But she really was able to decorate it. She had an art gallery in Las Vegas. I think she doesn't have it anymore. But she had many large sculptures, which I'll show you some a little later in her storage, which she hasn't used in the house. But she used a great deal of them in the house, and she found a place for everything. This looks out on the second floor outdoor balcony and for one of the bedrooms, and as you'll see in the house are so many beautiful knickknacks and things that she had in her gallery and from her travels. Here's the Emperor and the Empress just keeping a keen eye on the neighbors up on the second floor perch there. And they just fit in so wonderfully with the whole atmosphere of the house, which is, I would say, it's a kind of fantasy house, but in a very nice way. It's very tastefully done. And here again, you get some idea of the life-size sculptures on the balcony looking down at the inhabitants doing what they do. So when you live up there and you work up there, you have friends, which is very nice. There's something about sculpture which seems to be very friendly. At least this type of sculpture does. Anyway, when you're looking down, you can see the kitchen and the breakfast nook. This is a little bar right here that we're looking at. We looked at the breakfast nook first, and then we're kind of swinging out and looking again at the living room. She has a very vivid sense of color, which I liked, and it all works. She has many different types of art. Some is very new. She has a kind of Warhol thing here of Lincoln that you see it right there, but it works very well with the classic Chinese. And look at the size of that vase. I would guess that's 14 feet high. That's my guess. And of course, she has loads of room to put the wonderful art objects that she has collected and that she sold in the gallery. Of course, the piano. I don't know if Betty plays, but she may. She has a lot of talents. Again, I'm just swinging around. There are pictures up 15 feet in the air. It's wonderful, and sculpture like this hanging modern sculpture. And then we're just swinging around way upstairs looking out at the pool. It's very beautiful. So that's that. Now let's get to where you'd stay if you visit Betty. This is one of her bedrooms, and it has a llama bedspread, I guess, from her travels, and it also contains dresses that she wore for sure, or that she made. I think that's her wedding dress. And She has lots of mirrors, and they're very stylish. They're circular, and here I've just kind of switched positions so you could look at both sides of the room. That, I believe, was Betty when she was younger, and that's the desk that I worked at because I work on a computer all the time, being a writer and a video artist. Where I slept, it was in the Betty Boop room, which was right next door, and I love women who keep dolls. It just, I think it's nice and it's funny. It's a link to the past, isn't it? And this room that we're leading into now is the Betty Boop room, and that's where I stayed. Extremely comfortable, and you can see I didn't make my bed very well there, did I? So, but I'm a big guy, and sometimes it's hard to bend down. Hey, there's more Betty Boop. It was fun staying in there. It's just an up, and that's another look through one of the many mirrors she has. I love the round and half-round mirrors that she has, and then we're going to leave that room, and we're going to come into the Chinese room, I guess, or Asian room. This is a bedroom that's done in reds and blacks, really brilliant red, and a lot of black lacquer. I liked it. I didn't sleep here, but it was a beautiful room. And again, she's a very eclectic user of art. There are some of the enameled, like assembled paintings that she got over in Asia somehow, and they kind of fill this room. It's a nice. She has a nice sense of decoration. It's not too busy, and it's not too bland, and it's not overly theatrical. I've seen some rooms where they individualize the bedrooms, and it gets a little crazy after a while, a little bit too cute. But her rooms are never that way. They're a kind of reflection of her. And now we go to the downstairs. Now go downstairs. And again, on those white steps, and my suggestion is if you visit Betty, you hug the inside rail. It's pretty scary as you get older coming down those steep stairs. But anyway, you get a very nice view as you come down the stairs of the wonderful living room that she has. And we're going to take a look at some other areas now. These rugs she has a whole collection of rugs. Some are modern, and some are very traditional, and some are a little nuts, but in fact I like them. They're animal rugs, tigers and things like that. This is a little side room as you come in, and it contains, she has a genius for finding the right way to display items, from the small to the very large. And this is a beautiful display case, and that's my hand and mirrored in the background. That's the camera I used to take these. It's a wonderful high-tech camera that's about the size of a pack of cigarettes, and it's good sound too. And she has it lit extremely well, and the wood is perfect for this. And she has three sections, and each one has its own little charm. And when you look at these, the thing that really struck me is I'm a bit of a tickler for this. I also like interior design, and I've learned a lot about it from people over the years. But there's nothing I would really change in Betty's house. It just seems that everything has its place, and it works well where she has put things, And you never get bored when you're here. You can walk around if she's out shopping or something, and you have some time to kill. And I like to take some breaks between composition and then let my brain go dead for a while. It's just nice to walk around and just to look at the items. They're really extraordinary. She has a lot of big birds around too. They work well. You would think they wouldn't. They might be a little too Disney, but they work perfectly well in the way that she has decorated the house, from the tiniest to, like I say, the very huge vases, and then everything in between. So in fact, she's not afraid of size, and she's not afraid of color, and everything seems to hang together well. This is the kitchen, which is primarily black and white, and you'd have coffee here, and that's the bar to the right, and that's the little kitchen nook there to the left. And again, it looks out on the pool. There's wonderful light in the morning, and then beautiful piano. I think people should have a piano, even if they don't play, if they have the room. They're so gorgeous. And again, when you're downstairs, you can look at your friends upstairs guarding your bedroom. It's very important, and they're always on the job. They never sleep. And you can see why the Chinese emperors were so fond of them and sometimes collected thousands and thousands to guard them in their eternal sleep underground. Ours are just guarding us while we sleep, and we're not going to go underground for a while. Anyway, she has a whole number of little sculptures like those flying horses, and they're nice because they have a lot of motion to them, you know. And she has stuff up in the ceiling. You know, I have a very high ceiling too, but mine only goes about maybe 16 feet. Hers must go 25. I think I'm probably wrong on how high her thing is. It's really high. And that's another sculpture there that's racing towards something. This is the bar, which I haven't shown you. I showed you where you sit and have a drink, whatever it is. And, she's very social, Betty, and she has children. And they have kids, and they come to visit her. And when I was there, several of them came in and paid Grandma a visit. So she's kind of busy in that, and she keeps things going. That she's active in a very good way. That she puts her mind to something, and she does it. So she's what I call a doer, somebody who actually does something. Well, so much for the pool. We're going to take a look now at, there's one of those sculptures, one of those running sculptures that are so beautiful to look at. We're going to take a look at her dining room. This is the formal dining room. We didn't eat here because we're informal, but you can take a look at it. It's really beautiful. This again is the black lacquer, and it looks like some kind of tin bronze alloy that she has in the curtain there, hammered out. It's really quite extraordinary. And again, the black enamel china case. And I'll give you a little close look at that. See that wonderful yellow and the silver. It's probably silver is what it is. Probably silver and copper. I'm just guessing now. I just like the look of it, and it fits well with this room. This room has a very shiny appearance. It has a lot of the silver and polished silver and copper. And again, she has little collections. That's a really kind of beautiful thing there. And this was a wonderful deep green, and she has some wonderful glass, and she has glass chandeliers. You can see one reflected there. I try not to go too crazy in photographing the rooms, just give you a taste of it. If you want to really get a taste of Betty, you should go visit her. Anyway, we're going to take a look at a couple of things I usually don't put into my video life portraits, and that's a couple of Betty's bathrooms. And one, this is the guest bathroom, but it has this kind of louvered mirrors that I thought were terrific. It just makes the whole experience worthwhile. And I just love going in there, whether it's to wash my hands or to do otherwise. And it's a little delight. And now I think we're going to take a little tour. We are in Betty's bedroom, which is the size of the Emperor Suite at the Hilton. It is filled with animals. That in fact she likes animals, and although she doesn't keep any live ones, but she has. This is a kind of, if I were a bachelor, which I am, but I would kind of pay attention to the animals in the bedroom. There's a lot of them, and the animal skins. So Betty is a live wire, even though that she's been married 3 times. The husbands died prematurely, or maybe it was time for them to die. But she's extremely active and a very up spirit. Here's one of those tigers, and there's another zebra, so that that you're in the house of a hunter. This is and I love the look of this bedroom too. There's lots of animal patterns, animals all over it. It's like a little jungle, isn't it? And it's another aspect of her personality that I like very much. She's very funny too, and she wears hats, which I like. I wear hats all the time myself, as you'll see in the credits, and she does too. So we had great fun, and I always carry a couple with me. Here's another wonderful wooden sculpture. up here. This is just gorgeous, you know, of elephants, a big trail of elephants, and well, I'd give my eye teeth for that. Um, and she has her little teddy bear on the bed. Every woman has to have one, or should have one. If they don't, I'm highly suspicious of them. And then again, she has a wonderful view out onto the pool. There's another leopard skin. I don't think that's a cheetah, that's a leopard. I kind of know the difference at this stage. I'm doing a book on cheetahs in Nubia right now. And again, look at that wonderful bathroom of hers with that wonderful glass. And again, one last look at the animals moving towards Betty's bed, intent on meeting her there. Now, if you go to Betty's home, you have to have her show you the storage, because not only is her house beautiful and extraordinary in terms of its mixture of art and colors and styles, but in her garage, besides her car and some other things, she has a very large garage, thank God, she has a huge amount of sculpture and vases, as you'll see. Here's one. That's not two vases or three. That's one big vase. This is of that, I think, that 14-foot variety, maybe higher. I'm just giving a guess. But the colors are gorgeous, aren't they? And if you had a house that had high ceilings, this would be a great item. There's a little bronze rhinoceros. It's beautifully fashioned, you know, and they're all on the floor here. They're not stacked or shown. And you can see the difference when she displays stuff and how really good she is at it. But down here, they're just on the floor or on a shelf. Here are some more bronzes here, Chinese bronzes. And I presume these were from her gallery in Las Vegas. She kind of specialized in large items there. Here are some more Chinese pillars, and there's some more in the back there that haven't even been unwrapped, and there's probably stuff in the boxes too, to tell you the truth. When I went there, I was just stunned by the amount of art that she had that she just couldn't use. As she said to me, that she thinks she found the right place for everything, and I think that you couldn't put anything else in that house and you'd destroy the balance. But look at what she has here. So anyway, I hope she's able to move some of this out into the world. It's a shame it has to sit there with her car. It's a beautiful car, but it deserves to be in people's homes, you know. And unless she gets a bigger home, there's not going to be anywhere to put it. And the colors of some of these Chinese porcelain statues are just simply fabulous, and they're funny too. You know, they have a great sense of color. Here's another one. This is a companion piece, you know. And this is another companion piece. They're just lying on some pillows there, made of that bubble stuff, you know. And then she has some wonderful. These look like hammered or cast. I would think they were hammered. I don't know how they made these, but they seem to be some form of hammered tin or bronze or some combination. There's another one of the lacquered plaster statues, and here's another one of the hammered or poured. I find it hard to believe it was poured, and I even find it harder to believe it was hammered. But however they made these, they did a great job, and those are a couple of the saints and the wonderful folds on their garments. And here's just some odds and ends, you know, little stuff that's there in a corner. She just couldn't find a place to put it away, so it just stays here, and it's waiting for your future home, you know. And it's just a really kind of a fraction of the stuff in the garage, the art, so it's wonderful. Well, anyway, I had a great time at Betty's. It was wonderful meeting her. She's a rare spirit, and her home is a real reflection of who she really is and what she's capable of. So, Betty, hope to see you again. I don't know when. I'm kind of going around the country, but we have this now so we can look at it and I can be reminded of you, and I hope that you get a chance to send it to your friends and family so they'll see that you're not asleep, which I'm sure they're aware that you're not.